Here we are in Beacon Media's corporate headquarters in Monrovia, California. And we are John Watson.
My name is John Watson. I'm just one of the volunteers for the community.
And I'm Katie Gunderson Watson, wife, volunteer, a few dozen other things.
And how long have you been reading the community paper, the Monrovia Weeklies?
As long as it came to the door.
Oh wow, quite a while. So you actually subscribe to the paper too?
I don't know if we have a subscription or if it just comes there. No. We pick it up in various places. That's
yeah,
right.
you probably pick it up at various drop sites.
So if it's on the street somewhere, the post office, at T-Burgers, we usually grab it there in the evening.
We're back with
Those people.
Those people, the volunteers. These two people. And now we have a special guest who's just arrived. Would you like to join them on the couch?
Oh, certainly.
We have a Mr. Hal Levens, who is one of our, also very community involved in Monrovia, involved with Monrovia. Well, let Hal Levens tell it like it is.
Well, I'm involved in a number of things. First of all, John Watson recruited me to be part of the Welcome Wagon, and we've been doing this now for 12 years. We made an announcement just the night before last at the council meeting that we were starting our 13th year in the Welcome Wagon, welcoming all new homeowners and condominium owners to the wonderful city of Monrovia.
Great.
So that's my number one involvement. I'm also involved in the coordinating council representing two different organizations. One, the Knights of Columbus, where I've been a member for over 25 years, and FBO Solutions, an organization that helps mentally challenged adults. Also involved in the Chamber of Commerce. I have VIP status, which means I've paid up front for 10 mixers. And the other thing I'm involved in is in the chamber. I attend the Government Affairs Council, which is very informative. I'm also an usher at Immaculate Conception Church. I've been an usher there for 30 years or so. So I'm involved in lots of different things.
You guys ever have time for yourself? Always volunteering?
Well, that's what you do.
We sleep occasionally.
You sleep occasionally.
We do get to go play golf a couple of times a week.
That's what you do when you retire. You volunteer.
That's nice.
Anybody who retires and say they're bored is got to be out of their minds, because there's just too much to do in this wonderful town.
I agree.
There's organizations that are just searching for talent to help them, and it's an endless thing. The museum, that's another thing. I support the museum whenever I can. They're always looking for volunteers. I support the library. They're always looking for volunteers. My wife and I read for Read Across Monrovia, which is a day of reading to all the elementary students, sponsored by Monrovia Reads. So I think I've kind of covered most of the stuff.
So tell me about your connection with the newspaper and your love of local newspaper as opposed to websites and all that kind of stuff. You like to physically have a newspaper in your hand?
I love printed material. I have many, many books, and when I read a book, the book is always nonfiction. I don't have time to read fiction. I have little enough time to read facts. And that's one of the reasons I like Beacon Media, because that's where you get the facts. The research that you and your staff does on all these stories is wonderful. So I look to Beacon Media to get the bottom line. And some of the picture shoots you do, for example, the Gold Line Maintenance Facility, some of those internal shots that we as the general public would never get to see are wonderful. So Beacon Media does a terrific service to the city of Monrovia. And then, of course, you got Susan Motander, who runs around finding out what's going on and writing about it. And Suzanne is a great asset to your paper. She's a wonderful friend. I've known her for many, many years. So that's what I like. And having printed media in your hand is always wonderful. Instead of looking at a screen, anytime you want to have this, it's there. And that's what the great thing about printed media is. I do a lot of times cut articles out of the paper and send them back east to my brothers and sister, so let them know what's going on in Monrovia. So there's nothing beats having printed material. And I save these for a period of time until the stories are antique, and then put them in the recycle bin.
Good for you.
So it's a good use of our trees.
What do you think of the new format of the paper as we have it now?
Well, I think it's very informative. I like the column over here, which tells what's in the paper.
And Katie just had mentioned that too.
Yeah, and you get a snapshot of what you can want to look at, and that's wonderful. The other thing too is I love all the color. Color is just terrific. And you can get color on the computer screen, but it's not the same. So the new format is very, very good, and all the content is wonderful.
Yeah,
Pictures. I love pictures because without pictures,
of course I do too.
Right. Well, and you
goes without saying.
And as you know, Terry, you save over 1,000 words of print.
Very good.
For each picture.
So
what a wonderful saver.
The joker, right? So if you could add anything or subtract anything from the newspaper as it is now, what would you like to see us do as a community newspaper?
I would like to see more information on things like what went on at the council meeting, what went on at the preservation committee meeting, what went on at the coordinating council, what's going on, and all these. And it doesn't have to be verbose.
Right.
Just little vignettes of this happened and that happened, and just cover more local news.
This is what we're working on, and that's why we're establishing more reporters. Unfortunately, they're not full-time yet, but we...
Well, you can pay them as much as you pay Susan.
That part we'll have to delete.
Anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah, she told me last night if they fire me, I'm going to lose a great income.
I told her we'll double her salary anytime she wants.
Anyway, I'm upset sometimes when I pick up the Monrovia Weekly and all the news is about Arcadia.
But have you noticed now that that is not the case?
That is not the case as much as it used to be. It's the more local news you have, the more interested I am in getting the newspaper, and I get it every week. I now have a paper delivery boy.
You do? You have your own personal...
I have my own personal paper delivery boy.
Is that you?
I know. One of our neighbors takes a walk every day, and he walks down to 7-Eleven, that shopping center, and these papers are in the donut shop.
Oh, yeah.
So he picks up 3 papers, delivers one to me, and delivers one across the street to my neighbor, and he keeps one for himself.
Fantastic.
So I have my own delivery boy. So now I never miss an issue.
That's terrific.
That's terrific.
You're asking about the content, Terry. One of the things that I like is the local news, but I don't know if this is going back to middle America, too much local farm kind of newspapers. Finding out what's going on with smaller groups in town, service groups, for example,
like
organizations like Rotary, those kinds of organizations. There's lots of different groups in town. Monrovia Providers Group,
right?
MAFA, the Arts Festival Group. People, I mean, there's a lot of different organizations in town that have functions going on all the time. And seeing some little snippets about what they're up to is a nice way of letting people know in the community that there are activities going on.
This is where you guys come in, actually, has become kind of part of our extended reporting family. You let people know that we'd love to have that information, and we can't just go out and run out and get it. It has to come from them because these groups, that's the way they work.
Well, finding out that you have more reporters on board now.
Yeah, that really helps.
So it's not Terry doing
it's
everything.
Not, right. So it's...
That's what I was saying about that little calendar that comes out in the community calendar. Because it lists almost all of that kind of information.
The community calendar
in council calendar.
Oh, is that available online?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'll have to find out.
Available through the Chamber of Commerce, also through We now have a website for the Monrovia Coordinating Council.
Oh.
It's available there, and it's also available through the city website.
Well, I'll let our the person who does the calendar know that, and then he or she can add to that accordingly, because that would really help. I mean, Rotary, all these organizations are important. And
Yes, because it's posted on there. When we hold a coordinating council meeting, there's a calendar that goes around to each of us. And I think we had 33 members at coordinating council last week. Everybody can write on the calendar what they want to be posted on the website.
Oh.
So everything is updated every month.
Well, and we could link to our website too, to
Yes.
those, so that would help everybody.
Yes.
And get more people involved in those particular things. Well, we're kind of running out of time, so what I want to do is just kind of get an overview from you guys. What do you think? Where do you think Monrovia is going, and the newspaper is going, and just business in general in town? How is it being? What's going to happen in the next 5 years? Do you have visions?
A crystal ball.
Yeah.
Well,
Now with the gold line coming
Since-
in, is that going to make a big difference, or is that not going to make a big
Since John is on the Beacon Committee
difference?
for the Chamber of Commerce and on the Government Affairs Council, he's the best one to tell you what the future holds.
Okay.
well, according to information that came from Monrovia Old Town Business Association, all of the buildings on Myrtle Avenue and the side streets are now rented. So they are hoping to get all those filled in the very near future. I think targeting the small businesses like we have in the past is coming more into focus, because we want to keep all of the small businesses in town and try to help them if we can. So I think all of the organizations like MOTAB, the city, the Chamber of Commerce, we're all focusing on how we can help those businesses and keep them here and make them successful while they are here.
What about the constant complaint for most retail in, especially in Monrovia and Old Town Pasadena, for example, is the high rent, especially on Myrtle. Do you think that's going to be mitigated anytime soon, or?
I don't really know, because the problem is most of it is independently owned, and each of the companies that are in charge of the renting property out and so forth, they're the ones that keep wanting to raise the rent, not necessarily the owners.
It's not necessarily the owners, but the
Right.
managers are
Management.
pushing that.
So I think what we would have to do is negotiate with the different management companies rather than with the owners of the buildings, because the owners of the buildings seem to be quite content. So if we gotta be able to keep that property rental price down,
Yeah.
and that's gonna take negotiation with the property
Managers.
company.
Now, all three of you have been some person of the year or something or other over the years. Could you tell me briefly what you've, your awards you've received and accolades?
Well, John won the Iris Award for basically the Citizen of the Year in the city of Monrovia. And because I'm on the welcome wagon with him, they gave me the same award. Undeserved, of course, but
Of course.
but I took it anyway. So that's one award, and I've got many citations at home for various things. Volunteer at the church for being an usher for so many years, volunteering for the school district for helping at the school, and Monrovia Reads, and various awards. But the major award, of course, was the Iris Award. So John can tell you, if you have enough time, John can tell you of all his awards.
We have about 2 minutes left.
I'll make it very short.
Okay.
Like Hal said, I received the Iris Award. I received the Award of Appreciation from the California Occupational Therapy Association. I received Golden Apple Award from the schools. I've been honored with an award from the California Teachers Association. I was Ambassador of the Year for the Chamber of Commerce. So that pretty
We
much.
got couple of the year
Yes.
from the,
You did,
from the
didn't
Friday
you?
barbecue for being the most diligently there.
Well, what about the award that you got for being the senior
Last
citizen
year,
volunteer?
we were named as Monrovia's 2014 Older Americans of the Year in recognition of volunteer
And you haven't got a
service.
gray hair on
No,
your head.
not too many.
Don't have any hair.
Last year also, I received an award from the Monrovia Association of Fine Arts for the support role. I'm not an artist, but I've been actively involved in the organization for many years. And
Is that in Mafa or?
Mafa, that's it. And for helping to bring our high school students into the annual festival, which is held in the fall. So the last 2 years, we've had representatives from Canyon Oaks and Monrovia High there.
Oh, that's great.
Actually doing artwork with the public there.
That's wonderful, because the schools unfortunately have been cutting back on arts. And
But Mafa, one of Mafa's roles is to, in various ways, financially or with teachers, experiential kinds of things, to bring art available to our local students, grade school and high school.
that's wonderful. Well, you guys do wonderful work, and we
Field
really
service.
appreciate you talking to us today.
He's talking about
What?
field work director. I am an occupational therapist, and when I was working full-time, received an award for the Fieldwork Supervisor of the Year from our state association.
Oh, now occupational therapy specifically, can you describe what you do?
Occupational therapy's focus is on functional daily behavior. So any kinds of things that we do every day that give our lives meaning are our occupations. And occupational therapy's focus is on helping us maximize that, no matter what ailment or difficulty might get in the way.
Do you deal with mentally challenged youngsters?
When I was working full-time, my specialty was in mental health, adults primarily. Now that I'm semi-retired, I have my own business called Easy Living, and my focus is more on the well elderly population in town. But I have been working with a number of people with dementia, with Parkinson's, with heart problems, with arthritis, various kinds of issues that would impact their daily living skills. And so helping them to be able to maximize their skills as much as they want and are able.
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much for talking with us today. And this is going to be on our website, like I mentioned, our corporate website. So we're changing all these, redesigning everything in the company. So I really appreciate your valuable input. And we're going to sign off.